Okay, so this video is just to expand on how you can use Microsoft Forms to include mathematics in your web-based quizzes. Um, Microsoft Forms has an option called the math option. So I'm going to start by adding a question. And whether you choose a multiple choice or a text question, I'll choose text for free response just to show what's capable. And here you can only type in text right now. So what kind of math can I type in Microsoft Forms? I get this question a lot from teachers, from people on YouTube, online, things like that. And this little button down in the corner, the ellipses, has some options. You have to click math. And underneath in this box is where you would add the equation to your question. So your question might be, solve the equation below. And this is where you would type your equation for your students to read and solve. Now, you can see that they have a math palette here, and this math palette is great. It takes care of a lot of things that you would need students to be able to enter, but you're not limited to what the math palette has, and neither are your students. So there is a math typesetting language called Latex, and Microsoft borrows the Latex commands and embeds it into their software. This is available in Microsoft Word, in PowerPoint, in Microsoft Forms. You're able to use this Latex code. So if I wanted to include something that's not here, let's say an integral, backslash is what we use to say that we're about to give the computer some latex code. And if I wanted to do an integral, I would do int and hit the space bar. So after you're done with your latex code, the space bar activates it. And we see the integral symbol shows up. So I can type x squared. So I type x, caret symbol brings me to the exponent squared. And now to leave the exponent, I'm going to hit the right arrow key on my keyboard. And notice how the cursor dropped down. I'm going to go to the left, it goes up to the 2. If I hit to the right, it drops down. I'll put a space, dx, space equals, and click OK. So this is what we have here for the equation. But now down here, add an answer. We can say, well, what types of answers do we want students to be able to put in here? And they've got their fraction bars, their powers, their square roots, all of these things are here. But if they wanted to type in something else, they can use the backslash int, hit space, and x squared dx is equal to 1/3. Now that I'm in the fraction, I'm going to hit the right arrow key to get out of the fraction. X caret brings me to the exponent cubed. Hit the right arrow key to leave the exponent, plus c, and I can hit OK. So there, they repeated the question with the answer. I'll add another answer that simply says 1/3 x cubed plus c. Okay. And there's our question. So now I can hit preview. And it says, what kind of math can I type in Microsoft Forms? Solve the equation below. I see the integral of x squared dx. I'm going to type my answer here. This is what the student palette will look like. And notice from the student end, I can still type my latex code. X squared dx is equal to 1/3 x cubed plus c, and hit OK, and hit submit. Thanks, view the results, 100%. Because I wrote in that as one of the options, it graded it as correct. You can see that Microsoft Forms has a nice layout for mobile use also. And I'm going to go back to my editor here. In my editor, where you would create your quiz, you also have your response tab. You can come down here and see the details of what your students have entered in the assessment. And then you can export everything into an Excel spreadsheet if that's easier to view student responses. Just to go back, I'll add another question. And if we do this with multiple choice, if points A B, and C are linear such that B is between A and C, find the length of AC. So this still has math selected because my previous question had math selected. If I turn that off, then the math ability disappears. I'm turning it back on. Inside the math, I'm going to say \bar, hit space for an overbar. I'll say AB. Now I'll hit the right arrow to get out of that notation, equals 11, and \bar space activates it. BC equals 7. So what is the length of AC? And we can say \bar space AC equals 4. And we'll make our multiple choice questions or answers here. And you can see that I'm typing using latex code into the multiple choice. And we'll put a little green check, click on next to the correct answer so that that's the one that gets graded as correct. And don't forget to set point values on your quizzes and to say that the questions are required. If you have multiple answers, if you have the option to say that there are multiple answers to be selected, I'll leave it unselected, and I'll make this question required. And now when we go back to preview, we see that all of that math latex is embedded. So you can look online for a bunch of latex code to type in all of the different options you want. Just to throw a couple out there, \PM is plus minus. So if I were doing X is equal to \PM and then \SQRT, these are all different ways we can type up mathematics in Microsoft Math. It's very powerful. There's a lot of options, but it would require a little bit of latex or a latex guide that you would have available to students so they can use it to type in answers. All right, so I hope this helps. I hope it shows you just how much you can do with mathematics in Microsoft Forms.